Welcome back to Cn2 Sports. Time once again for another round of Yay or Nay with Locke. You ready?
I am so ready.
I know how pumped up you get up for this segment.
Caffeinated and hydrated and ready to go.
All right, leading off, Kentucky should turn down an invitation to the NIT, Locke.
Of course that's a nay. And I've had some fans say it doesn't matter about player development because none of the players ever come back with Cal. But if you have an opportunity to play more games, and especially in UK's case, to potentially play a game at Memorial Coliseum, and we all remember that was a really fun, special environment when they did it with Billy Gillispie, you got to do this. If it's a player's first program and you're Cal, you got to give the players as much exposure as possible. There is a segment of the fan base that is ready for the season to be over, but if you have a chance to win something, I still think that can put a palatable taste in people's mouths.
Moving on, most of the blame for UK struggles this year should be placed at the feet of John Calipari. Yay or nay, Locke?
Nay for most of the blame, because as always,
man, you said you were ripping him earlier.
But here's go. Some of the blame. If you'd written that, some of the blame, absolutely. But I mean, players ultimately, I've always said, get 90% of the credit and the blame, and coaches get way too much attention either way. But the idea that Cal can do no wrong, that's the one thing that I think Kentucky fans should take away from this season. Cal is not perfect. He has not done a good job with this team. He's had them for months. He hasn't been able to change their habits. He hasn't pushed the right buttons. His recruiting philosophy was a failure. This was a bad year for John Calipari. Let's just acknowledge it and put it in context of all the good years and then know that he has a chance to bounce back.
Do you think he has to maybe make some adjustments in his one and done? I mean, you know, it worked last year.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe this is an eye-opener that maybe I need to adjust this one and done deal?
I think absolutely he needs to make it. He needs to go deeper on his bench. He needs to recruit some additional guys, which he's already got 6 commitments and may end up with 7 or 8 by the time it's all said and done. Maybe go after some more transfers. But yeah, I think the idea that highly ranked players automatically make the transition to the college game, I think that's what this year showed. That is not a sure thing. And I think the UK fans and Cal have been spoiled by that assumption.
UK fans have a right to be upset about this cartoon, Locke. Yay or nay? I don't know if you saw it or not.
Can you read this? It says NIT. No, they don't have a. I mean, look, you can have a right to get upset about the sun rising, you know, but get over it. Get a life. All he's doing, the cartoonist, who I'm not actually a big fan of anyway, but he's saying Noel's injury equals NIT. I don't know. What you tell me? What is there to get upset about?
He's basically saying Nerlens Noel was the best player on that team, and without him, they're not a very good team, which we all see and know anyway. I don't get the uproar either.
I put on Twitter, I just hope the people that are making noise about this are the vocal 1%, because if that represents the true Big Blue Nation, I don't think it does, then you're too wacky for words. It's just a cartoon. It's a very legitimate message. What are you fired up about?
If he took a shot at Nerlens Noel personally, or making fun of his injury, I'd have no problem with it. But like I said,
if there was a personal accusation of some type, he got injured, hence UK's not very good. Where's the drama?
Next, Louisville is still in the mix for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Yay or nay, Locke?
I say nay. I just don't see how they can make up that much ground.
If they run the table and win the tournament.
If they run the table and win the Big East tournament, I think they'd have a shot. But that's a pretty.
You don't think they're going to do that?
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, look, Syracuse is the only game in the regular season they're going to be an underdog in, so it's certainly possible they could win out in the regular season, but then do it again in New York. This team just still worries me because of their lack of offense at times, their lack of star power. I just can't see them as a 1.
Russ Smith, Gorgie Jang, and Shane Behannon will all leave for the NBA draft after the season. Yay or nay, Locke?
I'm going to say nay. I've said it repeatedly. I think Russ definitely goes. Gorgie's 50-50, and I just don't think Shane will get enough NBA interest to leave. So I think for different reasons.
Shane probably he wants to go.
He absolutely, yeah. If Shane could go, I think he would go. I just don't know that he's had the year that's good enough to make the NBA want him. I think Russ wants to go and will go. And then Gorgie, it just depends on what's more important to him, completing his education. But he may graduate this year before, or kind of helping his family out in Senegal.
Gorgie seems like, to me, out of those 3, he'd be the most important one coming back, because they don't really have anybody. They've got enough guards coming in to replace Russ. Shane, you've got Montrez. They really don't have anybody to step in for Gorgie if he leaves.
You're exactly right, Chip. If U of L fans had to pick one of those 3 and say, I just want to make sure one of those 3 comes back, Gorgie is the guy, because they got Mango, but he's an unproven commodity.
Next, you are a believer in the Miami basketball team. Lachlan, yay or nay?
I watched them last night beat my Virginia Cavaliers, and I have to say yay. They did. It wasn't the best game that I've ever seen, but their combination of inside and outside strength. I had heard of some of their players, but this guy Gamble, who I had not heard of at all, he was really, really playing well. Miami is super, super experienced, and we've seen teams like, just kind of get it together, and I am a believer. Yeah, you don't do what they've done and have it be a fluke, because they've done it too many times.
And they've got it all, really. Like you said, experience. They've got good guard play, some good big guys inside, and a coach in Larinaga who's been to the Final Four. That's going to be valuable down the stretch.
Yeah, he's not the type of coach you would think would be a good mix for South Beach, but he's got it working. I am a believer in the Canes.
And finally, Lachlan McClain can do the Harlem Shake. Yay or nay, Lock? Can you shake it?
Anyone can do it. All you have to do is look like a fool, and I do that on a regular basis.
We've got a Harlem Shake moratorium. We've banned the Harlem Shake from the CN2 studios. I just wanted to know if you could do it. I thought you'd say nay, honestly. I'm surprised.
There's a lot of things I can't do, but act like a fool, I got that locked.
Yeah, you look like you got a little rhythm.
No
rhythm.
That's the point of the Harlem Shake. You're not supposed to have rhythm.
Everybody's doing it now.
The dumber you look.
The dumber you look, man. And I remember when it came out a few years back, and they've recycled it.
Yeah.
I'm just burnt out on it. But I'm glad to know that if we ever need you to get out there and bust it out,
I'm here for you.
You're capable. All right, man.
2 or 3 extra Diet Mountain Dews, I'm ready to go.
I know you'll be ready by then. Well, Locke, thanks for joining me tonight.
Always a pleasure.